This meeting is hereby called to order. Going by our agenda, we will first do the opening prayer. As you know, we have, by our tradition, we have our own prayer. So, please. Let us pray.
Almighty God, Author and ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech thee to inspire and guide all our thoughts and actions, so that we may always walk in the path of justice, love, and mercy to one another. Help us with thy grace to do only those things that will promote the peace, unity, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria.
Thank you, sir. The next item is self-introduction by committee members. As we go along and new other members come in, we will ask them to introduce themselves as well. In the meantime, please start from my right.
Honorable Chairman, Deputy, my colleagues, distinguished guests, my name is Olajide Jima. I represent the Gospel and Federal Constituency. I'm a member of this committee. Thank you.
Distinguished Chair, Deputy Chair, honorable colleagues, the clerk, the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration and other officers around. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Honorable Dr. Zainab Kiba. I represent Pamanga Yakalabundi, Federal Constituency, Chair, and from Borno State.
My name is Barlow Lord, House Committee, House Committee. Good morning, my fellow chairman, my own colleagues, respected guests. My name is Honorable Mando Bono, to the chairman of this committee and from our private state.
My deputy chairman, distinguished honorable colleagues, our clerk and secretariat, our guests, the acting CG, Nigerian Immigration Services, and your team. I am Nasir Zango. I'm from Katsina State, representing Zango Federal Constituency, and by the grace of Allah, I am also the chairman of this committee. I'll now hand over to your side for your quick introductions.
The Honorable Chairman, House Committee on Material. My Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Material, other distinguished members of this committee. My name is Isa Idris Jure, Deputy Controller General, Nigeria Immigration Service.
Thank you very much, distinguished Chairman and members of the committee, my acting CGIS and my colleague. My name is Caroline Wuraola Adepochi, FSI. I am the Deputy Controller General of Nigeria Immigration Service. Thank you, Marcus.
Honorable Chairman, other distinguished members here present, my CGIS acting. I am Obe Fashaki MNI, ACG in charge of budgets.
And ma'am, I see the Nigerian Immigration Service is very gender sensitive and inclined to the female gender. Okay.
And luckily enough,
Can you introduce yourself? 2021. Thereafter, the committee in a pre-budgetary meeting unfolded its 2022 budget defense schedules and oversight plans, covering all agencies within its jurisdiction by virtue of Order 20, Rule 63 of the Standing Orders, and Section 62 and 88 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The committee have earlier written to the Nigerian Immigration Services on 18th October 2021 notifying the service of the oversight and budget defense and requesting some information including the services 2020-2021 budget performance. Thereafter, on the 21st 1st of October, we communicated our intention for an oversight visit, which took place on the 28th of October, where the committee had an on-the-spot assessment of the various projects, including the Technology Center, Conference Center, Mechanics Workshop, and quarters for junior and senior staff. We are seated here today for the service to avail us their 2020-2021 budget performance and defend their 2022 budget proposal. The possibility and possibly intimate the committee and any challenges or bottlenecks mitigating against optimum performance of their duties. As the lead agency that has been charged with the responsibility of migration management in Nigeria, the service definitely have its work cut out in tackling the expanding challenges confronting the country in the face of rising cross-border immigration violations, need for control of entry and monitoring of migrants, including transnational crimes. Securing our borders and security in general costs a lot of money. And the House Committee on Interior and the National Assembly have constantly ensured improved budgetary provisions to position the service into a pace-setter in the area of migration management. We will be happy to go the extra mile in assisting the service in achieving its laudable mandate. However, notwithstanding our intent to pass the 2022 budget on time, we have a duty to ensure that the country receives value for all appropriated resources, especially in this critical era of revenue challenges. There is therefore the need for prudent management of resources and plugging of revenue leakages. Once again, we are glad to have the acting CG and his team here and hopeful for a wonderful interactive session. Thank you very much. CG, I think I'll just extend to you the microphone so that you can just go ahead and give us a summary of your performance as well as the 2022 proposal.
House Committee on Interior, Honorable Nasir Sanizam Dora, the Deputy Chairman, Honorable Emmanuel Kudo, other distinguished members of this committee, may the blessing of God be upon you all. Permit me, Chairman, to go through the notes I have, but mainly on the proposal for 2022. I've been just taken over 6 weeks ago. However, according to the performances, documents have been submitted to this honorable committee members to go through, and then in the course of interaction we'll be able to discuss further the rest of the question. I would like to start by giving a brief overview of NIS. The Nigerian Immigration Service, as a parliamentary agency under the Ministry of Interior, has eight zonal offices, 45 command offices, which includes 8 international airports and 5 seaports, 43 passport offices, 144 land control posts, 84 land border patrol bases, 13 forward operating bases, 774 local government offices nationwide, and 3 missions abroad. The NIS has continued to strengthen its efforts towards safeguarding the nation's borderlines of about 4,407 kilometers, and also made enhanced contribution towards national security and socio-economic development through various structural and operational reforms. These reforms are premised upon security, economy, and transparency objectives in line with economic recovery growth plan of the federal government. Then we look at the 2022 budget proposal. In furthering the effect of economic recovery and growth plan of the federal government, the 2022 budget proposal, if fully implemented, will further serve as a catalyst to cushion the effects and the gains of budget performance of 2020-2021 respectively, and will help in enhancing the implementation of our core mandates. The 2022 budget proposal for NIS is a total sum of 72,855,486 4,901 naira 76 kobo only, which covers for personnel of NIS, including those in the foreign missions abroad. Overhead and capital expenditure. The budget proposal is majorly engineered towards ensuring a more robust and effective security control of nation's frontier, with the use of ICT in implementing and discharging immigration duties, for effective internal control and monitoring, as well as enhancing welfare of all NIS staff. The total personnel cost for 2022 is 58,300,605,103 naira and 75 kobo only. Our overhead budget for 2022 is 2,560,878,090 naira and 1 kobo. With 23,704 personnel, we have a total personnel cost of proposal of 58,300,695,119 naira 75 kobo for 2022 proposal. We shall take a look at 2022 proposal in comparison with 2020 and 2021. In 2020, personnel 212,808,020 naira. For overhead, 2,516,878,090 naira. For capital, 8,555,677 naira only. Total for 2020 is 64,880,201 naira 787 naira only. For 2021 appropriation, 53,695,096,411 naira. For personnel, 2,516,878,090 naira. And then total for capital is 12,910,490,207 naira only. Total for 2021 is 69,112,464,788 naira. For 2022 proposal is for personnel is 58,300,695,194 naira. While for overhead in 2022 is 2,576,878,090 naira. While for capital in 2022 is 12,37,481,618 naira only. Total budget for 2022 is 72,855,4,902 naira 1 kobo. Please, summary and details of actual budget performance report for the year 2020 and 2021 are included in the submission that has been laid before this distinguished committee for consideration. While ensuring that Nigerian Defence Service continues to prove it was as a veritable subset within the Nigerian security matrix, the implementation of 2022 budget proposal is further to fortify our borders and frontiers, as well as aid in combating massive security threats and challenges the country is currently experiencing. Also, the proposal is strategically tailored to reflect and address the actual needs of the service and make adequate provision for specific instruments, technology, equipment, and logistics that are urgently required to tackle enormous challenges, including effective policing of our extremely extensive and vastly unstructured border areas. 2022 budget. Capital. In view of the present challenges and pursuant to our core mandate, the capital budget 12,481,618 naira 1 kobo for 2022 is proposed to achieve completion of ongoing projects and provision of essential infrastructure for maintaining a robust border management system and internet security. It is imperative to note that these important projects, as outlined in the detail of the 2022 capital budget proposal, have been prioritized in accordance with the envelope-based systems, EBPS. Areas in which 2022 capital budget is addressed include not limited to the following areas: an effective border management and patrol. The 2022 capital budget is proposed to better manage and more effectively police existing border posts through construction of barracks at border posts. It is adopted that additional barracks will be constructed in most of these border states in order to provide immediate presence of our operatives, to also provide a quiet, enabling environment while guaranteeing the safety of our officers and men. Rehabilitation and renovation of existing barracks and border control posts. In 2022, the service intends to vigorously pursue the rehabilitation of other dilapidated barracks and control posts nationwide. Provision of border patrol and all-terrain operational vehicles. The service in 2022 intends to purchase additional surveillance, fitted and multipurpose terrain vehicles, tricycles, border patrol motorcycles, as well as buses for effective patrol for extensive border areas and for deportation and protection of irregular migrants, most of whom become regular tools in the hands of insurgents. Construction of forward operating bases and main operating patrol bases. Purchase of arms and ammunition and construction of armory. Migration, Information and Data Analysis System, MIDAS. Deployment of information and communication technology, ICT, and enhanced internal monitoring control. Construction and equipment of immigration divisional offices. Provision of additional equipment for e-registration of non-Nigerians. The service intends to continue deployment of e-registration equipment as a strategic mechanism through which influx of migrants into the country will be effectively checked and documented. Provision of 10-finger mobile enrollment units and deployment of ICT infrastructure anchored on a centralized database to provide real-time feedback mechanism on a statutory operations across strategic locations and border areas nationwide. Deployment of public key infrastructure technology for seamless clearance of passengers and detection of migrants on stop and watch lists at the airports, seaport and land areas. Installation of migrant and refugee processing system, integration of passport issuance system for fraud detection and effective data management. Staff welfare and human capacity building. The service intends to enhance capacity base of its staff in 2022 by providing conducive working and barracks environment, potable water to staff and families, as well as constant training and training of staff. Other key areas of priority project in which the service intends to vigorously pursue for enhancement of internal security in 2022 includes provision of surveillance and intelligence gathering equipment, especially at the border lines, upgrading of training institutions, installation of immigration processing and management system, TPOT/human trafficking management systems, provision of sea patrol boats, and completion of ongoing projects. Overhead costs. The 2020-2022 overhead cost of 2,560,878,019 naira is strictly for administration and coordination of essential immigration activities across the Federation. It is proposed to take care of all the items of overhead cost expenditure, including the following provision that requires additional funding. Funding for officers who are deployed to JTF operation in Northeast, mop-up exercises for irregular migrants, including their feeding while in detention and subsequent removal from the country. This exercise, which is usually preceded by undercover and covert missions, is extremely vital as most of these regular migrants, if unidentified and removed, could be ready tools in the hands of insurgents and terrorists. Funding for this operation is provided under subhead 220-206-601 of our overhead costs item tag security service. Personnel costs. Our personnel cost budget is made of two components, namely salary and emolument. This component of our personnel cost budget is administered through integrated payroll and personnel information system, IPIS platform that is domiciled in the office of Accountant General of the Federation. 2. Foreign missions. The foreign mission budget is for the upkeep of immigration attaches at the various Nigerian missions abroad. The budget is for statutory foreign service allowances to fund the operation of these immigration desks and foreign missions. In view of the above submissions, distinguished chairman and other members of this committee, here present, I therefore respectfully request your gracious consideration and passage of the Nigerian Defense Service 2022 budget proposal, please. Thank you for your attention. God bless you all.
We didn't hear much about some of the challenges that you may be encountering and what it is that we can I don't say that. They're given, as far as I'm concerned, the envelope system across the board is neither here nor there, because there are certain challenges that maybe since we're here and as Parliament, we could in some ways be able to, how should I say, help fund certain key or strategic subheads that you may have, the appropriations coming up, which is what we're doing here. We're here to have synergy and also see where, as a committee on interior, we are able to at least aid the agencies under our purview, get a little bit more than they would ordinarily get if we stick by the envelope. But then we can discuss this, because what I intend to do right now is actually dissolve this into executive session in view of the time we have. It's Friday, and lots of people need to go and change. Some are traveling, as you can see, some members will come in, and they have other committee engagements as well as scheduled flights to leave the country. But before that, maybe members may have one or two questions or inputs that they might want to see. He has raised his hand first. Thank you. Sorry, first. Please, let's have those numbers that have not introduced themselves.
Thank you, the chairman. Our colleagues, invited guests, I'm from State Local Park. I'm very good push from Narafi. I'm from Nigeria State. We love this country.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sijan is team. My name is Mr. Kakako. I'm from Akwa Ibom State, and I speak for the people of the Benin of the Kakako State.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, honorable colleagues. Our guest, Jafar Mohammed Shetima Morku is my name. Representing Morku Akora Prayer Constituency from Niger State.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I have some observation and also want to agree with your points based on this. I look at the budget. Thank you very much, Acting CG, for the service you are rendering to this country, especially the foreign mission and also in Nigeria here and across board. We are very proud of you. I observed that from the budget, there's just not much. The difference is not much variation. From 2020 and 2021, the difference is just 3 billion. And from 2021 and 2020 and 2021 is 5 billion, while 2021 and 2022 is 3 billion. So, Mr. Chairman, I agree with your point as in there has to be some issues that this committee would do to help them. And one of them is CG, the issue of foreign mission. I have the privilege of going abroad, whether for pilgrims or for anything. What is happening, number one, our passport is always a problem in all our embassies. There's an issue when immigration officers come to our embassies over there. There's only not just the layers, the lack of those passports in those our embassies abroad is a source of concern. And I think an appropriate budget should be made for this foreign mission to make sure that things are done correctly. Even locally, when people are going for Hajj, you see a lot of delays. Not just even if there are thousands of people, you should man up. I mean, you should have manpower to set up. The same thing whether going to Jerusalem or Hindu in India, we should be able to have the manpower to settle those things. Another thing is the issue of your budget line that I've seen in the 2020, there are a lot of budget lines without location. So I think it's important to have location of where you're executing a particular project. I will go through a lot of them. It's just the isolation of this. That's it. There's no location, none of your command centers or zonal headquarters. Please, it's important to put those things. Those are my observations, Mr. Chairman.
Let's take a note of them.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to commend the acting CG for the wonderful work assessment you did at Ikoyi, Lagos State. Honestly, that's a credibility on the part of establishment. Well done, well done. I say well done again. I will say that I have gone through the different laws. I discovered that from the table contents of the sovereign giving like 2020-2021, I do not see where your revenue is there from the table content. So if you cannot get what has been your revenue in 2021, and considering the fact that you are giving us your expected revenue in 2022, and that has been explicitly stated, I actually want us to reconcile the two positions of 2021 and 2022. I mean, I will stop at that.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, CG. I just flew through and I want to ask how many aircrafts you have, because in the 2022 proposal, you only need 1.7 million maintenance of aircraft. Are you sure that 1.7 million will not make the aircraft be falling from the sky? We want to be if we want to be safe. And also the boat maintenance. Boat maintenance are even more than that of the aircraft. When you look at your 2021 boat maintenance and what you have achieved in 2022, there is need to do something there. But my one query is with maintenance of the head office. The head office is always, last year you put 94 million, this year is 92 million. You just removed 2 million. So I think it's on the high side. There are other things that you are going to do. You cannot be maintaining the headquarters every year. It's not possible. Thank you.
Just last one before we give him time to respond and then we go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me join my colleagues in commending your efforts in digitalizing your agency. I must confess, when we came with the chairman on the other side, I was very impressed with the real-time online monitoring of issuance of passports across the world, and even your border control activities. Well done. Thank you. I have noticed that your budget line on foreign station in 2021, you requested for 9.2 billion, and in 2022, you are requesting for 13 billion, which is maybe like 60% increase. So I would like you to justify the need for that increase. And then number two.
Number three.
No, number two, on salary. You have also increased your proposal from 44.3 to 45.2. So I would like you to justify the need why those competitions are too close to you. Thank you.
Other new board members, just can you kindly introduce yourselves and then we hand over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, colleagues, and our university. My name is Kolani Diaz, graduates of the Grand Constituency, and I'm right now. Mr. Chair, for the right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Chairman, honorable colleague, our invited guest. My name is Olubat Eshiwo. I look for you to be able to that.
Mr. Chair, Deputy, honorable colleagues, and invited guests, I see the sign on the today to present of the way the laws today to that. I'm committed to this.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman, Deputy Chairman, and colleagues, esteemed guests. My name is Honorable Haruna Issa Dede. I represent RI Federal Constituency and from Kano State. You are most welcome. Yes, sir. Nama is very some question. Your mic. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Definitely, I'm the border side of the country, where I have seriously concerned about this number 14 on 25. 14 on 25. Construction and equipping of border patrol. This basis or basis? Basis. Okay. So, for me, if you visit particularly one of our borders in Niger State, which is Babana, if you go there, you can see anything existing or something like any equipment that will help them to protect our border in our country. So I don't think this money has to be here. If you are serious about it, I think 246 million. They're going to take care of only one border. It's not enough.
It's too small.
It's not enough.
That's why we are here. That's why they are not here.
So we need to
That's why they
do
are
something serious. If you go there, you can see the system of government, particularly in terms of protection. Of here, their diligence, there is nothing like that. Thank you.
Okay, so you will hand over to you those answers that you can give us quickly now. You give us those things that you need to make submissions. Kindly make the submission after the this sitting to the Secretariat. Thank you.
Before I give answer, I would like to on this house that when I took over from former CGI, part of my mandate is to reform passport process. That's why I undertook the Nakoba operations in Lagos, because once we are able to solve the problem of passport in Lagos, so passport is key as far as I'm concerned. As I mentioned earlier, this took over, it's a new down for me. I would like to pray the Lord Chairman to start from the bottom. For the border areas, I would like to inform the member that the government has signed contract with Huawei, the e-border, and Babana is one of the borders for the deployment equipment before they are not out to start deployment. So you see our presence before they are not out by the support. And on the exchange rates for foreign missions and overhead our auxiliaries, the salary is because of recruitment. I don't compare recruitment, so that's why the salary rate is high. And for the foreign mission, it's because of exchange rates. That's the difference compared to the previous year. And for the location of projects, the details are there. You see it. We try to separate the project across the geopolitical zones for equity and fairness.
And justice.
And justice. For the aircraft maintenance, we just try to maintain the subhead, because as a border policing agency, we should have aircrafts. if we are reaching this. So we don't want the summit to go, that's why we don't have aircraft for now. We are just putting that money to maintain, because of envelope budget, we are just putting to maintain the summit. So by the time we have aircraft, we have to start agreeing to the summit, and that's what we just put 1.7 million there. For the revenue, sir, I think we have submitted part of the documents before this wish members. So for the foreign missions, as I mentioned earlier on, passport is a problem, it's contractor financing. Government is not investing anything in passports, and yet getting revenue from passports. However, the President directed we should domesticate the production. But currently, we are importing the booklets. I want to assure this house that the process has begun to domesticate already. So very soon, sure by next year, we start producing passport in Nigeria. By the grace of God. And for the challenges, Chairman from members, we all know NIS covering 4,407 kilometer border with this amount is grossly inadequate. A safer border, a safer nation. We all know. And the only thing we could do is to deploy ICT to monitor our borders. So NIS require more than this, so that we can sleep with our book eyes closed. So we're going to do this committee to see what the committee could do to get money for us through any means possible, so that we can enhance our performances. We have to secure our borders. Our core function is securing the borders. We are policemen of the borders. Other roles we play are secondary, but primarily we are supposed to secure the borders. And once we are able to secure the borders, the hinterland will be free, by and large. So our major challenge is funding. Without funding, we go nowhere. So I think basically it's I have now subsequently the other requests required to this honorable committee for further action. Thank you very much.
Maybe the issue of ITR 2021 and 2022. I said you can see the 2022 here. How do we reconcile the two? So that we know whether there's going to be an improvement in 2022. That's the exact question I asked.
I know what is raising is within your submission there, we don't have 2021. But we can see the projection.
You actually read it while you are giving your speech. Then you document there's nothing like that here. How do we reconcile it? Whether they are improving or not?
It's the fifth that's done, but the people are for it to this committee.
Now I'm saying, yes, then we shall do what we look into that subsequent one.
No worries.
It's a document.
No worries. If you have any new entrants, yes, we do. Can you kindly introduce yourself?
Okay.
Thank you, Chairman, Honorable colleague, and our guest. I'm Honorable Lawrence Balabigaye. I represent Initial West, Initial East, and Atmosa West, and Atmosa East, and States.
Mr. Chairman, I'm representing the Federal North and Member from Federal Constituency. I'm from Ogun State.
Mr. Chairman, I'm representative Ibrahim Olajide Obadiforo. I represent the Tosa Federal Constituency in the Center of Excellence, Lagos State.
Well, with that, I think I would like, and you kindly clear the room. We're going to resolve into executive session.
Good morning, sir. Just wanted to know your view on what came here. We noticed that there are some things that you people mentioned about the border and the funds of the immigration not being enough. I hope the members are responding very well on how to
Good morning. We came in for budget defense. We are able to articulate our positions. Members are willing to assist, to go extra mile, so that we get our borders secured. You know, a secured nation, once we secure our borders, then everybody will sleep with two eyes closed. And they are willing to go extra mile to fund NIS as a border policing agency.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's what I wanted to hear from you.
Thank you.